Okay, so what page are you on? No, turn to A6, turn to A16. Okay, down the bottom. Down the bottom. You see the port of connections? Okay, you see the pin? The pin in the middle.
Would you
in the
please,
middle of it.
for the love of God, lower your voice?
I'm
mine.
I'm on the. I'm just trying to get this.
I got it.
Okay, you see the pin?
Stop it!
Do you see the pin?
It's mine.
Do you see the?
Hello and welcome to Therapy Express with Rosanna. Thank you so much for watching today. Did that scene ring familiar to you? Nowadays, a lot of people are forced to work together. The kids are home from school, the husbands and wives are at home working closely together, and all hell is breaking loose at the house. This has probably been going on for several weeks, and I thought that it would be good to share some tips about what to do if you find yourself in this similar situation. Adjustments obviously have to be made. If you're used to going to work and your husband is going to work and the kids are at school and you come home at 6 and have a lovely night, it's a lot different than you're working side by side all day long and you're interrupting each other. The kids are just going crazy in the other room. It can be very distracting and frustration can mount. So I'm hoping that these little tips will help you navigate through these times working at home with your loved ones. All right, so we all know that adjustments have to be made, but what else can you do? We'll start off with number 1. Don't invalidate your partner's worries, because in cases like this, one partner worries more about what's happening than the other partner, and it's very easy if you're working closely together and one partner is always like distressed and thinking, oh my God, what if we get the coronavirus? What if my dad gets it? What if my mom gets it? You're worried, and the other person might just say, don't worry about it. No one's going to get it. Don't exaggerate it. It's just a big hysterical thing they're doing. Don't do that. Each person wants to be heard. So if your partner tends to be a little bit more worried than you are, then do listen to them and validate their feelings, because if you don't, that's just going to cause more stress at home. Just listen to them and with love and say, I know it's going to be okay. Even if you think it's hysterical, from everybody going crazy, validate your partner's situation because they really could be feeling scared, okay? Number 2, you have to talk about your expectations and establish some boundaries. When you're working that closely together and you don't have any boundaries or you don't know what to expect from each other, that's when arguments are going to ensue. If you both have to work closely together, maybe you can talk about when you can work. At one time, one of you can do it, the other person can do it at another time, and then you can come together, but you can give each other space. But in order to do that, you need to talk about it so that each of you can expect what is expected from the other person. So the person can say, how about if I work from 8 to 10 and then you deal with the kids at that point, or from 10 to 12 then you have the office and then I'll do something else. I'll make lunch for us. So talk about it, and that way you can come to an agreement and things will be a lot more smoother in the household. Number 3, communicate regularly with each other, because tempers can flare and you can both be upset about something the other did, and now you're like in confines. You can't really get out of your situation. So talk to each other often throughout the day. How are you doing? Do you need more time? Are you doing okay? And you can also ask the worried partner if they're still scared, how are you holding up? What are you feeling right now? Are you feeling better? Is there anything I can do? So communicate throughout the day. And if one of you has been watching the kids more than the other, maybe you can take turns and say, let me take over the kid duty right now, and you go ahead, maybe take 10 minutes, 15 minutes and relax and do that, and I'll take over. That way you're both communicating and talking with each other and giving each other a break, which is very much needed right around now. Okay? Number 4, throughout the day, check in with each other. It's kind of similar to the communication, but in this case, you're going to talk to each other about your schedules. Is the schedule still working? Maybe your wife or your husband, they need to be in a conference call that they weren't expecting, and they need the office for longer than you thought, and you were going to be on a call. So that's why I say check in with each other so that you're still on the same page. And remember, the first thing is you have to make adjustments. And if an unexpected call has to be made and you check in with a person and they say, yeah, oh my gosh, I didn't know, but I have to call Bill at 2 o'clock, and that's when you were going to be in the office. And at that point now, you can say, all right, well, let me see, I'll change it to 3 o'clock. I'll be in there. Will you be done by then? So working together is key in this case. And you can get along, but remember to check in with each other and communicate. Number 5, and this is a very important thing, is to build a routine. It is easy if you are home to start kind of maybe slacking off a little bit, get up whatever time you're going to get up. Maybe the kids are used to eating breakfast at 7 and now they're eating it at 10, and it just disrupts the whole schedule. It really is important to come up with a routine. I remember reading a book called Catamaran, and it was based on a true story about 3 people that were on a catamaran and it capsized. And during this 3 months, they were in this boat and the food supply was gone. But one of the things that kept them alive, or 2 of them anyway, and then at the end, one of the things that did keep the person alive was a routine. They were able to say, okay, from 7 to 7:30, we're going to eat breakfast, whatever little breakfast they had, which was a half a teaspoon of peanut butter. From 7:30 to 8, we are going to sing. From 8 to 8:30, we're going to say a prayer. Whatever it was, that routine was what kept them going until hunger took over and killed some of them. But the point is that the routine kept them going, and they were able to latch onto something, and it was very powerful. And I think the power of routine, if it's used properly, can save the day. So make sure you incorporate a routine and don't just let everything just fall by the wayside. All right. Number 6, and this is important. Remember, you're cooped up in the house and you're working side by side and you may be frustrated. It's important to do something fun with each other. Maybe you can take a break during the day to watch a sitcom or play a game with the kids, or just do something and maybe go for a little walk or sit out in the backyard if you have one. Do something that releases the stress. Listen to music, but it's important to incorporate some fun in what could be considered by many just to be a very boring existence of being inside the house. There are a lot of people that are social beings, and being inside, sort of locked in, is very, very difficult. You know, for the introverts, they're probably really happy right now. They can stay in because that's what they want to do. But for people who are social animals and they want to be outside and now they're stuck inside, it's very difficult. So try to incorporate fun while you are housebound, all right? Number 7, if applicable, and you have kids at home, then make sure you do something with them that's constructive, that will keep them busy. Remember, they are used to being at school pretty much all day, class to class. They have recess, they have friends. They're used to being very active, and now they're home. They can wake up whenever, they can be watching TV, playing video games, and that's not good for their mind. So make sure that you are active with them. My son has been reading with his daughter half an hour every day, keeping her mind. My other grandson is sketching now, starting to be creative with his art. So make sure that the time is used wisely and that their brains are used, and maybe they can do a little bit of exercising too, so they're not just sitting there. But make sure you are active with them so that they know they are cared for, and that they are there and you're there with them, and they don't feel like they just have the run of the house. It's very important. And the last one, number 8, is create a system of chores for everybody. This sort of makes everything more normal, okay? A sense of normalcy is needed at this time. And if everybody knows what they have to do, okay, you're gonna take out the trash on Thursdays, you're gonna vacuum, you're gonna make sure the cat is fed, you're gonna make sure that the bed is made, and everybody has their things to do. It's another way of bringing some normalcy, bringing normalcy into something that isn't normal. So that is another key into creating an environment that makes it a lot easier to be in. Okay, this is not going to last forever. Eventually, we're all going to go back to whatever our normal lives were. We're going to go back to work. The kids are going to go back to school. We're going to get back to the busy life. Hopefully, we've learned something from this experience and we can be calm. But let's take something from this right now. Let's use this time that we are housebound to create harmony and be together and work with each other, and instead of letting our tempers flare. We can all do this, and when we go back to work, who knows? We might miss this time of having that family togetherness. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this channel and this video, and subscribe, share it on, and turn on your notifications. And until next time, make every moment count. Bye.